In this tutorial, I'm going to be showing you how to put in custom textures for a UV'd mesh. So for instance, this is a UV'd mesh that I've done earlier. So this is a wooden crate. I can see the UVs here, and I can see that these are the faces, and we've got all those stuff. So if we put in a seamless texture, this would just start repeating over this, but we won't have anything custom for that. So for instance, if this is a crate that's, let's say, an explosive crate, so we want to put a little danger sign that would indicate to players that this is explosive, what we need to do, so in Photoshop, I've got a seamless texture that I currently have. If I put this in, it obviously wouldn't have the danger symbols and everything. So what I need to do, I need to get a reference to what these UVs currently look like. So what I need to do, I need to export the UV. So if we go to the image tab, so on the very top, select all the UVs. I'm not sure if you need to, but it's best practice if you do. So click on the image and then do a UV snapshot. So what we then need to do, I'm just going to put it on desktop and save it as UV snapshot. So I'm going to save that as a UV snapshot on my desktop, and I'm also going to change the image format to something like a JPEG or a PNG. So the difference is JPEG, we can use that, but a PNG would be better for us because we want to have it where the UVs are visible but nothing else in the background is. If we did it as a JPEG, the UVs would be there, but there'd also be a background that we'd have to deal with. If we do PNG, we can just put it into and overlay it on top of some textures. So I'm going to do it as a PNG and do it as what my seamless texture resolution is, so 1024. So it doesn't really matter about that, you can scale it to what you need. But if we press apply, there will be a UV snapshot on your desktop. So if I open this up, we can see this now. So it's just like what we can see there, but as an image. So if I now go to Photoshop and I drag this in, we can kind of see the UVs on top of this. So we get an idea that if I make a new layer, I start drawing it, this will be on the inside. So this will be on the inside of one of these. This, for instance, would be on the outside. So as long as we know what each of these faces are, we're able to then draw on it and accurately know what that's going to look like. So if I put in if I'm going to just do a very basic little danger symbol. So I'd like that to be red. So by default, I should have changed this to red. But if you've already done this and you want to fix it, well, top tip, just do the color overlay. So double click on the preview here, so on the little image there, double click that and it'll bring up all this stuff. So I'm going to do color overlay and just put that to red. So then I'm going to just duplicate this, so hold Alt and move it and it'll start to duplicate that around. So I'm going to put it onto each of these. So we're going to do a little bit of a trial and error here. So, ooh, this might be, if we put this onto it, some of these might look rotated. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to save this out and I'm going to put it onto my mesh in Unreal Engine. So I'm going to hide the UV snapshot. So we don't want this because then there'll be lines on the mesh in the texture. So take that off, but this danger sign should be on the mesh when we put the texture on. So save a copy on your computer, save it as a JPEG, and then I'm just going to call that test for now, but you should name it the actual name you need to. So I'm going to go to Unreal, go to test, and then we can see that this texture's here like that. So if I go to the wood texture, I go to here, and I can change the texture here. So we could drag it in and then replace it, or because it's already set up, we can just change it here. So I'm going to do test, change that, and then we can see on here, because this is just a preview on a cube, we can see that there. So if we put that onto the UV'd mesh, which I've already got in the project, so if I drag that in here, I'm going to change the default one to m_wood, which is the material that we're working with, and we can see there that we've got the danger sign. So we can see here, this one is rotated 90 degrees, which we don't want. So what we can do in Maya, try find the one that it is. So we've got all this here. So we know that one of them's an issue. So we can try guess, but that might take a bit of time. So what we can do instead, we're going to put the material in Maya. So the texture, sorry. So if we open up Hypershade, go to the Lambert, on the colour, so click Lambert, so this little olive looking thing is the Hypershade. Go to Lambert, colour, click this checkerboard there. Go to File, and then it should come up with something like this. We can go to the image name and find that texture that we had. So, test, so this is putting the texture in. So then if we press 6 on the keyboard, it will then show up this. So I can select one of the faces, so I know that it's this shell that needs to be rotated. So if I then rotate that way, that's not the right way. So then I do that, and then just straighten UVs. So that's looking okay to me. So you can preview if it looks okay here, and it's all looking fine now. Yeah. So this looks all fine to me. So then we can re-export this. Export selection, SM Create, replace, go to Unreal, right click the crate that we've already imported. If you right click and it's already in the same place, so you've not moved the file where SM Create is. So I think mine's in the desktop. Yep, mine's in desktop, and you can see the source file. So right next to where my mouse is, at the very bottom of this pop out, you can see C uses blah 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 desktop SM Create. So as long as we haven't moved it, we can do re-import. And if we re-import, it's now fixed. So open this up, and it's now re-imported that new thing that we exported. So now the texture's fine, and this is now a spooky explosive crate. Ooh.